So it's finally happened. According to Deadline, Disney Lucasfilm has reportedly decided to cancel the second season of The Acolyte. Despite an impressive launch on June 4th, with the series drawing 4 million views on its first day, making it the biggest Disney Plus premiere of the year, the show's early momentum was quickly derailed once people actually started watching it. And what began as a promising new chapter in the Star Wars universe quickly unraveled into a frustrating mess, plagued with canon issues, flat characters, and the same poor writing that has troubled other recent Star Wars projects. And naturally, word of mouth spread fast, and by week 3, The Acolyte had plummeted out of the top 10, only briefly returning back for the finale as, curious viewers tuned in to see just how this disaster train wreck concluded. Now, I myself gave The Acolyte a fair shot, I like to think, going in with an open mind. I mean, the concept was intriguing. A focus on the Sith during the High Republic era sounded like a fresh take that we needed, especially after disappointments like Kenobi, The Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka Season 1. But what we got was the opposite of what I had hoped for. Instead of a deep dive into the dark side of the Force, the show meandered with the Jedi until finally touching on the Sith toward the very end. Sure, there were moments I enjoyed, but they were few and far between, lost in a sea of confusing decisions that made me wonder how some of this even got approved. Now, if the cancellation news is true, and we gotta remember this isn't official yet, then I have to admit that I'm surprised, as I fully expected Disney Lucasfilm to push forward with at least one more season, especially given the female-led, directed, and produced nature of the show, something that Kathleen Kennedy has been passionate and quite vocal about doing for some time now. And with Ahsoka getting a second season despite, that show's own issues, then I figured that The Acolyte, would follow suit. So yeah, I'm surprised, but at the same time impressed that KK had the cojones to pull the plug on the show once and for all. That is, assuming it was her decision and not something forced upon her by Bob Iger. Still, we need to wait for official confirmation first before the celebrations or the disappointments begin. As for me, I didn't like The Acolyte, nor did I hate it like some other people did. But it certainly didn't live up to its potential that it had, let's be real with that. Characters like Sol and Chimere, whatever his name is, had their moments. And I'm genuinely curious about the unresolved plot threads left from the finale. What happens to Chimere under his master Plagueis? As obviously Plagueis does eventually replace Chimere with Palpatine. And what is Chimere's actual Darth title name? And what did Vernestra end up telling Yoda actually? Plus, does she end up confronting her former Padawan, Chimere? And if she does, is it her killing Chimere and then Plagueis appearing to finish her off? There's still some intrigue left in the story, at least for me, and as a channel that focuses primarily on Star Wars canon, what can I say? I can't help but wonder how these threads will be tied up. And that's what I'm left wondering now. Will we see The Acolyte get the solo treatment and have the rest of its story be continued in comic book form? It's possible, but I'm not much of a comic book guy, so I'd much rather see the story done in live action, or at the very least, animated. And preferably after a script doctor has cleaned up all of the bad writing and focused only on the characters still holding my interest, like Chimere and Plagueis. But even that might be wishful thinking. The reality is, The Acolyte could just fade away. its story left unfinished, a what could have been in the ever-expanding Star Wars saga. Maybe it's a shame, or maybe it's exactly what the franchise needs. Time will tell. One thing's for sure though, the Force wasn't with this one. And 7 out.